Hey, what's going on, guys? Jay here, and welcome back to the channel. Last week was very intense for us behind the scenes. We're harvesting a lot of data at the moment, and that data is giving us the ability to give you guys the answers that you truly deserve and doing our job as a validator. And I've never taken that lightly, and I've always gone the extra mile, and we always will here on the channel. When it comes down to this data that we've been going through, we've been showing you, and we're going to be providing to the entire community, not just anyone can go and get this data. In fact, you need to have an archive node. And an archive node, in its simplest form, to explain this to you, is the history of everything. It holds absolutely everything that happened from the day the chain was created to where we are now, right here with you guys listening to this video. Now, you need one of two things: a lot of money, because it's around $1,000 to $1,500 to keep one functional, operational, and running. On top of that, secondly, you need to have the expertise to create the thing and then maintain it. Now, there is the extra bit that goes on top, and I think this is more important than being able to create it and being able to maintain it, right? And, pay for this thing running, is actually put it to the test, actually use it to gain the data that we really need as a blockchain. Many different people have tried to explain the crash. No one can explain it. No one can give you a definitive answer. And I can say to anybody that's listening now that was part of the crash, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, and it's what I'm dedicating my time to. And if you were one of the, major minters during the downfall of Terra, I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you, and I'm going to expose you. Now, going over to exposure, last week we explained to everybody that TFL themselves had transferred around 50% of the total USTC supply for all time, specifically to the Binance deposit wallet. And this really explained why we see the majority of the USTC supply still on Binance. Now that we've explained this, I'm able to go and take all of that data, right, that we've gained for you guys, and we've put it into this lovely Commonwealth discussion, which is also going to go in for a proposal. And what we want, really, the best outcome from this is for it to pass. And although the validators are probably going to go, well, we can't action from this, we can't do anything from it, Binance has to do something. Yeah, exactly. Binance has to do something. So we need to pressure them. And in order for us to pressure Binance, we need to have this thing pass. If this does in fact pass, what's going to happen? Well, the same things that happen when we have an upgrade, right? The media players external to us are going to report on it, and they're going to write news articles on it. Now, everybody is pining, and I really do mean this. Everybody's pining at the moment to get dirt on Binance, and more importantly, get dirt on CZ, because he's been given a presidential pardon. We know that he did, in fact, break the law. And that shouldn't really be how the cookie crumbles. But again, we're now in a situation where we have the data, right? If this proposal does pass, it's not just going to put pressure on Binance. It's going to put pressure on CZ, because from my understanding, when you mention a CEX that has not abided by the final judgment, okay, which was judged, ordered, and decreed in the United States, where Binance operates, you now have a captivating story. You now have a situation where Binance, this so-called good player, which I don't believe they are, but, personal opinions and everything, is in possession of illicit funds. And they're probably going to mention that those funds could be used, for liquidity, for market making, for books. In so many different ways, they are benefiting from TFL just leaving everything on there. And I have to point this out. You do not make memo redactions or redactions in general in law cases, civil cases, right, or criminal cases, unless there is a point behind it. So where we stand now is we've explained the USTC on Binance. We have the ability to now push this thing forward. And as a best case scenario, we all collectively work together, like we all did previously, to get Binance's attention and get them to look at the evidence. And the evidence is very clear. They can't dispute it in any way, shape, or form. We've even told them exactly how much has been sent to them. We don't even need them to tell us how much is left. That's not what we want from them. We don't want them to explain the ins, the outs, the ups, the downs. We just want them to abide by the final judgment, and only Binance can do that. In order for us as a blockchain to go ahead and burn these funds ourselves, we just couldn't, because we would have to burn the entirety of the Binance deposit wallet or hot wallet, for example. Yeah, we can't do that. So it is down to Binance as an end result. But if we do not work collectively together as a community and all of the validators, well, no, I'm just going to vote this down, well, then you should probably redelegate to validators that are going to be looking into the future with a clearer, positive mindset. Now, going forward, as I've mentioned, no one has been able to explain, I mean, people, right, in the London School of Economics, MIT, right, the MBER and the CEPR could not explain what exactly is the definitive cause of the crash. They can't tell you where all of the funds went. They can give you all of these great, pieces of explanations that tell you, that jump was used and chai was used. But again, it's all stuff that's irrelevant at this point. What we need to know is where all of the coins went, how they were minted, who minted them, and who's responsible for this crash. It's only going to be a specific amount of people. And again, I have to emphasize this. They had an audit from some of the greatest people that you can really go to for analysis. They can't explain it. They can't tell you where all the funds went when they were minted. You know why? Because they do not understand the technology. We are 4 years into this, and no one can explain or has been able to explain why so much LUNC is on Binance. We've got a validator that claims to be in direct connection with Binance, that Binance has got a secret plan, right? Well, we've just exposed with definitive evidence, and we're going to be releasing the Commonwealth discussion. That's going to have the ability for anyone out there to go and get our data, and you'll be able to go on the full frontal, on the attack, if you will, yourself. But these validators, right, that are supposedly in direct connection, well, help us, right? If you are supposedly in direct connection, then help us. Help the entire chain. Help us turn this thing around and get these assets burned. The difference is they're lying, right? They don't have a direct connection. Binance doesn't have a secret plan. It's been almost 4 years. The time for reality to set in is now. Otherwise, you are never, ever going to see any of these assets come back to the chain and see them burned in the way and fashion they were supposed to have been done in the final judgment. In my Commonwealth discussion, I've even given examples of where the final judgment has been committed to by TfL, by the SEC themselves, by us as a blockchain. And these CEXs, right, have gotten off scot-free. And if I wanted to hide everything, if I wanted to hide minted coins, if I wanted to bury stuff, I would send it to a CEX. I would send it to a CEX and leave it at that. And then if I was the CX and I knew about all of this, and of course you would know all about all of this because you have 50% of the USTC supply, 50% of the LUNT supply, you know about all of this. Is it beneficial for you to come out and say, oh, actually, we've got all of these assets? No, of course not. It's actually more beneficial for them to come out and go, actually, we're going to burn each and every month, you guys. You're going to love it because we're not going to ask questions like we haven't for the past 4 years. But I am now at a point where I have more data, and now I'm looking for the answers to where all of that LUNC on Binance came from. And yeah, we're starting to get definitive proof. Now, what people are asking me at the moment is, Jay, can you look at things like BitHub? Can you look at KuCoin? Can you look at these other CXs? And we are on the hot pursuit of absolutely every single coin. And we are logging, we are detailing everything. And when I say I have all of the data, I have all of the data. What you're looking at here right now on my screen is essentially every single minted coin that was ever produced during the crash. And we're narrowing it down. It's a very, very small window. And what, again, a lot of people don't understand is this whole thing, right? This is the sad part about what we're all involved in. This whole thing stems from a bet. between two people. You might not even know this, from two people, right? To where we are now. And now I'm at the stage where we've got all of this data and we're going to be able to, within a matter of, I reckon, a week to 2 weeks, I'm going to be able to tell you who that LUNC on Binance belongs to. And the likelihood is, right, it doesn't belong to TFL. And this is what I'm hoping. Because if it doesn't belong to TFL, and this is the real sucky part, it's either going to be users or Binance. And if it belongs to Binance, I can assure you guys that Binance isn't this friendly CX that everybody believes them out to be. Because in order for those coins to belong to Binance, which they could, Binance would have to have attributed to the crash, right? Because they halt the chain when they can't really get the thing to repeg. And then the chain carries on going. The attacks get even harder, faster, for longer. Right? So we're now in a situation where, yeah, we've excluded TFL. The LUNC on Binance does not belong to TFL, but the USTC likely does a good portion of it. Leaves us with users or Binance. The likelihood of it being users this far down the line is very, very slim. So this really leaves us with Binance likely owning a good portion of our supply directly themselves. And there's so many benefits from doing this. I don't think people understand that by Binance just burning each and every month, it's like a not-for-profit thing. They can do a tax write-off. I've looked quite deep into this. Anyway, we're about 11 minutes, 12 minutes into this video. I think I've said enough at this point, and I think you guys get where I'm going with all of this. We're putting a lot of work into all of this behind the scenes, and for those of you who feel like I get paid or my time is reimbursed or anything like that, no. Absolutely not. We're running at a total loss. I'm paying out thousands of pounds each month, and I honestly don't know how much longer we will be around for, considering how bad things are getting for us as a validator with LunkDash and with these different things. But until the last dying breath, I will be here giving you guys the answers that you deserve. That Commonwealth discussion is going to be up within probably a matter of like a couple of hours after this video. Go through it, go look at the evidence. I've put everything in a Google Drive. Try get your validators to support this, even though we can't directly action from it. It's down to you guys. I've done everything that I can do. I can support in the same way that everybody else can, but I need everybody to get on this. I need everybody to work together collectively to ensure we keep this thing in the limelight. And if it does pass, people are going to write about it without a shadow of a doubt. The data is going to be quoted. People are going to be out there, and people are probably not even interested in our blockchain. It's going to just give them a reason, if they generally hate on Binance, to go on the full frontal. It's about time you guys got answers. It's about time that we stop relying on these, Binance has got a secret burn plan. They're going to save us all. No one's coming to save us. You'd have to be absolutely insane to think that is going to happen at this point. If we do not turn this chain around, I can assure you at this point, every validator below third position is running at some kind of loss now. If this continues, we are not going to be here in a year's time. I truly believe that. And I don't just speak for myself. I speak for the majority of validators, because eventually the market is going to cook. It's going to reach that point and it is going to dump. Look at where we are now price-wise. Compare that to where we could possibly be if we don't turn this train around and we don't latch onto something. And I think latching onto all of this data, going and tracing where all of the minted coins went, this is what matters most, because the likelihood is we could pressure, as a blockchain, a lot of these CEXs maybe that have got, LUNC assets for charity purposes. Send them to the dev wallet. Help us help you. We'll help you. You help us. Scratch our back. We'll scratch yours. It can go both ways, but again, we need to work as a collective. But look, guys, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, sorry for the raspy voice, and I'm going to catch you in the next one.